Hello my dear students, welcome to the science class. I am going to explain you human digestive system. It's coming in organ system in animals lesson. It's unit number 20. See, in the previous class I stopped with the small intestine. We were seeing about the alimentary canal in the human digestive system. In that I stopped with the small intestine. Do you remember? Yes, let me recall that. The small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, which is long coiled tube measuring about 5 to 7 meter in length. It has three parts. What are they? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum. What are the three parts? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum. These are all the three parts coming in the small intestine, and this small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. What's its length? It is about 5 to 7 meters in length. Okay, let me continue. Let's see about liver. Liver is the largest digestive gland in our body. So small intestine is the longest part. Liver is the largest digestive gland. Don't confuse with that. This is larger in size. It is reddish brown in color. Can you see the liver in the picture? Yes, this is the place where it is located. It's in reddish brown in color. It's divided into two main lobes. You can see the two divisions, right? So this is said to be two main lobes. Lobes means nothing but division. Right and left lobe. The right lobe is larger than the left lobe. Can you see? The right side division of the liver is larger while compared to the left side. So the right lobe is larger than the left lobe. On the undersurface of the liver, gallbladder is present. Gallbladder. See, can you see the green color part? Yes, that is the gallbladder. And what's the purpose of gallbladder? Before that, I'll tell you about the liver. The liver cells secrete bile, which is temporarily stored in the gallbladder. So, liver is secreting bile juice. Listen carefully. The liver is secreting what? Bile, and that bile is stored up in the gallbladder. The green color part, gallbladder, is there, no? There, the bile juice is stored up temporarily. The bile is released into small intestine when food enters into it. So, when you are eating food, from the mouth part, it is moving through the esophagus and then it reaches the small intestine, right? So when the food is reaching the small intestine, the bile secretion will be released into the small intestine. Actually, bile is secreted by the liver and that will be stored up in the gallbladder temporarily, and when food is entering into the small intestine, the bile will be released into the small intestine. For what purpose? For the digestion purpose. And then it has bile salts. What are the bile salts? Sodium glycolate and sodium tauroglycolate. The bile salts are sodium glycolate and sodium tauroglycolate. And also it contains bile pigments. What are the bile pigments? Bilirubin and bilirubinin. So these are all present where? In the bile juice. So this will be introduced or released into the small intestine. So these bile salts are very helpful in the process of digestion of fat by bringing about their emulsification. So emulsification is nothing but conversion of large fat droplets into small one. That's it. So for the digestion purpose, especially the fatty substances can be digested with the help of the bile salts, which are released into the small intestine. It is done by the liver, which is temporarily stored up in the gallbladder, and that will be released into the small intestine, and that helps in the digestion process. Am I clear, children? Okay, so the new word is emulsification. What is it? Emulsification, conversion of large fat droplets into small one. Okay, the next one, functions of liver. So this liver controls the blood sugar as well as amino acid level. Blood sugar level and also amino acid levels are controlled. And also it synthesizes a fetal red blood cell. It's synthesizing in the sense it is producing more and more red blood cells. Okay, then essential red blood cells, especially for the fetus, can be produced with the help of the liver. Okay, then it can produce fibrinogen and prothrombin, which is helpful for clotting of blood. That is to stop the blood flow. Okay, if there is any cut or if any bleeding is happening in the skin of the body, means it should be controlled. How it can be controlled? In the sense the clotting of blood will happen. So that for the clotting of blood, a kind of fibrinogen as well as prothrombin are produced. It is done with the help of liver. And also it destroys the red blood cells and stores iron, copper, vitamin A and D. So it is destroying the old red blood cells and helps in the protection of red blood cells. Okay, it means blood purification can be done with the help of liver. So these are some of the functions of liver. And next let's see about the pancreas, pancreatic structure and its function. See, a carrot-like structure, yellow color part. This is pancreas. It is lobed. Lobed already I told you. It's divided. Leaf-shaped gland situated between stomach and the duodenum. You can see in this picture. Between the stomach and the duodenum. Duodenum is what? One part of the first part of the small intestine. Between the stomach and the small intestine, that is first part of the small intestine is duodenum. Between that area only this pancreas is present. Now let's see about the secretion of pancreas. Pancreas can act both as exocrine gland and also endocrine gland. How? The exocrine part of the pancreatic gland secretes pancreatic juice, and endocrine part of this gland secretes hormones. The endocrine part of this gland secretes the hormones. That's why this pancreas can act both as exocrine gland and also endocrine gland. That's why it is said to be a dual gland. So we say for Android mobiles we used to say dual mobile, right? Dual in the sense two SIM cards can be put in the mobile, that can be used up. Two SIM cards can be used up. So we say dual purpose mobile, we say, right? Likewise, this pancreas is acting as a dual gland. Why? Means it can act both as exocrine as well as endocrine gland. The exocrine part of the pancreatic gland secretes pancreatic juice, which contains three kind of enzymes. The three kind of enzymes are lipase, trypsin, amylase and chymotrypsin. Lipase, trypsin, amylase and chymotrypsin. So these are the enzymes. Enzymes are the chemical substances which are naturally produced in our body. It is done with the help of pancreas. So pancreatic gland is secreting pancreatic juice. So what are all the enzymes present in the pancreatic juice? Lipase, trypsin and amylase. Amylase is very important. So actually three: lipase, trypsin and amylase. Along with that, chymotrypsin also secreted. So this is acting on fat, proteins and starch respectively. And this gland's upper surface bears islets of Langerhans. You can see in the picture islets of Langerhans. Okay, so the upper surface is having islets of Langerhans which have endocrine cells. Already I told you endocrine cells are secreting the hormones. What are the hormones secreted? Alpha cells secrete glucagon and beta cells secrete the insulin. Right? So hormonal secretion, endocrine. Remember, endocrine gland means ductless gland. Ductless means tubeless gland. So it just secretes glucagon and insulin, which will freely mix up with the bloodstream. Right? But already I told you about the endocrine gland. Sorry, exocrine gland. Exocrine gland means duct gland. This kind of enzymes are released through the duct. Duct means tube. Right? Through the tube or blood vessel only, this enzymes will be released out. Here, which will directly mix up with the small intestine, which is helpful in the digestion process. This is about exocrine. Endocrine means ductless. So it will just release the hormone which will mix up in a bloodstream. So what are the two kind of hormones secreted means alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secrete the glucagon and beta cells secrete the insulin. And what's its function of glucagon and insulin? You will learn in the higher classes. Anyhow, I'll tell you something. See this insulin you would have heard often. This insulin convert the glucose into glycogen. Glucose from the food we intake is in a form of carbohydrate, right? So that's otherwise you can say it as glucose. That glucose is converted into glycogen and that will be stored up in the liver as well as in the muscles. Right, and glucagon is secreted by the alpha cells. Alpha cells secrete glucagon, right? This glucagon converts glycogen into glucose. Right, so insulin is converting glucose into glycogen and this glycogen is converted into glucose with the help of glucagon. About this you will learn in the 10th standard very clearly. Both the insulin as well as glucagon are maintaining the blood sugar level in the body. So what's the normal blood sugar level? 80 to 120 milligram per deciliter is the normal blood sugar in the body. So that is maintained properly with the help of these hormones. What are they? Insulin and glucagon. If the insulin is decreasing, it leads to diabetes. Such kind of people only leads to diabetic patient, right? So insulin should be maintained and the glucagon as well as insulin should be maintained in a normal level. It's done with the help of endocrine gland. So this endocrine gland is secreted with the help of pancreas. Right? So they may ask you in the 2-mark question, what are the hormones secreted by the endocrine gland of pancreas? What are they? Alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secrete the glucagon. Glucagon is a hormone. Beta cells secrete insulin. Insulin is a hormone. So glucagon and insulin are secreted by the endocrine gland. That's the right answer. And what is the purpose of exocrine gland? Exocrine gland of the pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice. That pancreatic juice contains 3 enzymes: lipase, trypsin and amylase. Hope you understood, children. And next we'll see about the large intestine. We'll see the structure and the location of large intestine first. So this large intestine, you can see the picture. colorful part. Can you see the large intestine? Yes. This large intestine extends from ileum to anus. It is about, ileum is where? Ileum is the last part of the small intestine. 3 divisions are there in the small intestine, I told you. What are they? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So, ileum is the end, last part of the small intestine. So, this large intestine is extending from ileum to anus. Anus is the last part of the large intestine, through which the undigested food or the wastages are expelled out from the body. So, it's about 1.5 meters in length. It has 3 parts: cecum, colon and rectum. What are they? Cecum, also you can pronounce it as CAECUM. Colon and rectum. So you can see these parts. Yellow color part, cecum. Green color part, colon. See, not only green color, orange, green as well as blue part are all coming under colon. Since this orange color part is ascending colon, green color transverse colon, and blue color part descending colon, right? So this is colon, and then one more pink color part you can see, that is sigmoid colon. So altogether we say it is colon. And then rectum. Can you notice the rectum? So temporarily this undigested food will be stored up in the rectum, and the last part is anus, through which the undigested food will be expelled out from the body. So this is about the large intestine. So next to the small intestine, what comes? Large intestine. Okay. Then let's see about cecum or caecum. So the cecum is a small blind pouch-like structure situated at the junction of the small and the large intestine. So this area, the cecum, is between the large intestine and the small intestine. And that means the starting part of the large intestine, right? So here you have to remember, it's a small blind pouch. Why it is said to be small blind pouch? Yeah, it is, the structure is blind. Why means vermiform appendix rises in this area. Vermiform appendix. It's a vestigial organ in the human being. Vestigial means functionless organ. So all the parts are functioning in our body, right? So one part is functionless, which is that part? Vermiform appendix, which is a blind end, like a finger projection. You can see in this area, in the area of cecum, you can see the small finger like projection is coming out. Can you notice? This area only we say it is appendix. This area is functionless. That's why it is said to be vestigial organ in the human being. Okay, the cecum is a small blind pouch-like structure situated at the junction of small and large intestine. From its blind end only, a small finger-like structure is coming out, which we say it is appendix. This is the functionless organ. Next is colon. The next part is colon. It's much broader than ileum. It passes up the abdomen on the right, that is ascending colon. It crosses to the left, just below the stomach, that is transverse colon, and down on the left side, that is called descending colon. That means based on the structure, it is named in such a way: ascending colon, transverse colon and descending colon. Ascending, transverse and descending. based on the position, right? The rectum is the last part which opens into the anus. It is kept closed by a ring of muscles called anal sphincter, which opens when passing the stool. You can see the last part, anus. Can you notice? Above the anus, rectum is there. Okay. So the rectum is the last part which opens into the anus. Where it is kept? It is kept closed. It's the last part of the large intestine, and this area, this rectum or anus, is kept closed by a ring of muscle called as anal sphincter. Very important one word. So this anus is closed with the help of anal sphincter. That's so it's a kind of controller. It controls. It, whenever necessary only it opens. Suppose if the stool is to be passed out or the wastages are to be expelled out means the sphincter will open. Otherwise it is kept closed. And then the last part, the last process is egestion. Last process in the digestion is egestion. The undigested or unassimilated portion of the ingested food material is thrown out from the body through the anal aperture as a facial matter. This is known as egestion or defecation. So the unwanted or undigested food is expelled out from the body through the anus. This process is called as defecation or egestion. This is the last process which is undergone in the human digestive system. So the human digestive system is over with this. It's a nutritional process which starts with the ingestion, digestion, absorption and egestion. Ingestion is what? Food is taken in. Digestion is what? The process of digestion. That is, the complex substances are broken up into simpler substances with the help of digestive juices which are secreted in the stomach. And next, absorption. Absorption is what? It's a process by which nutrients obtained after digestion are absorbed by the villi. Do you remember? Yes, when I taught you of the small intestine, I told you about this villi. So the digested food is absorbed by the villi and circulated throughout the body by the blood as well as lymph and supplied to all the body cells according to the requirement. And the absorbed food is then assimilated. Assimilation means the absorbed food materials are supplied to the tissue cells. That is in a form of energy. That is supplied to the cells, tissue cells. Okay, and then after the assimilation takes place, undigested food, so the food which is taken in is converted into energy and that energy is supplied to the cells. And the final thing is egestion. Egestion means undigested or unassimilated food is ejected out of the body. This process is called egestion. So these are the main nutritional process: ingestion, digestion, absorption, then again assimilation is there. Here it is not mentioned. Assimilation and finally egestion. This is about the human digestive system. Thank you.